Hi, welcome to Random Edge Productions. I'm Tristan. I've gotten some comments from some of the people who've been watching the videos. One is Shannon Patton, the Patriot. Is it Patton? Patton. Shannon Patton, the Patriot 517, left a comment and asked if I would do a video reacting to a particular video he liked. And the video he liked is from Dano, the spice guy. So apparently Dano, and I haven't seen these before, Dano makes spices. And I think his phrase is, "You don't know until you Dano," which is very catchy. So today I want to look at a video, it caught my eye. It's "You don't know until you Dano, spicy root beer jerky." Now, I like root beer, I like jerky, I like a little heat. So, right up my alley. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. And thank you, Shannon Patton, the Patriot 517, for making this suggestion. We're going to see who this Dano fellow is. So here we go. Let's jump right into it.
Oh, look at that! That right there, that's a 7-pound brisket. Look what I got here.
I'm sorry, right out of the gate, you know, when there was a slap, I had flashbacks to my own birth, and how he dropped it, just right this, same thing, flashbacks to my. Okay, let's keep going.
Here, I got some root beer. I got a bunch of chili peppers. We're making a next level, super spicy chili pepper root beer beef jerky.
What's IBC root beer? I've never tried that. Becky, make a note of that. Next time you go to the grocery store, see if you can find IBC root beer. I want to try it and see what it is. Okay, I'll get back to it here.
With a brisket, check it out. First step, we're going to throw our brisket in the freezer for about an hour. Next step, you need about 4 cups of water. I got a few pasilla chilies, and here I have some morita chilies. But first, do this. Cut you some little slits in them so the moisture can get into it when it's cooking. Now we add our morita chilies. And lastly, a whole handful of arbol chilies. Now we're bringing the heat. Now we'll just bring this to a boil, and then we'll let it simmer for about 20 minutes. All right, it's time to make our marinade. We got our hot chili peppers. We're going to add those in first.
Right out of the gate, it's like he's in his shop instead of a culinary kitchen with all the fine. This guy is down home and he's full throttle cooking. I like it.
First, that was like some spicy juice. I'm gonna give it a sip. Bitter and spicy, but it's kind of got a little flavor. So I'm gonna add a little bit in here. A little bit of that.
So he just drank it and just dumps it in. He's sharing all kinds of flavors, and he's added his own to it now too. I like it.
We're gonna get our sugar from our root beer. 2 of those. We're gonna use 4 green onions. Take our little stems off, and we're gonna add 3 habaneros. Now we need a bunch of garlic. Add our garlic in. Last step, you need the Dano chipotle. I got about 3/4 of a bottle. I'm gonna use almost all of it. Heck, might as well. We're gonna add us 2 or 3 teaspoons of some sea salt. Now let's blend it up and give it a try. See what it tastes like.
The cameraman probably has safety goggles on because he's worked with him before, I'm sure.
Let's give it a little taste. Okay. I totally taste the root beer, and that's super hot. That's crazy good. Now let's prep our meat. All right, it's been about an hour and a half. Look at that. It's nice and hard. Be a lot easier to cut this way. Just gonna start cutting it thin. Now that is the perfect slice. Nice and thin, just like that.
That's a great. I never thought about putting it in the freezer. I'm learning things. This is good. Now, I don't really cook that often. I don't. But when I do, I like to pretend I know what I'm doing.
Now we simply just put our meat in our big 2-gallon Ziploc bag. Now we add our marinade. It's nice and thick. You don't want it super runny. The thicker the better because it's going to stick to the meat.
That looks like Phil Robertson's coffee. If you saw that video, it does the same. It's probably the same thing. It's Phil Robertson coffee jerky is what he's probably making.
Now take your time with this part. I can actually feel that there's some big clumps in there. So I'm actually going to go in there with my hand. But we want to go in here and make sure we get all these pieces separated. Make sure every piece is touching the marinade. In hindsight, this is probably a better way to do it because you want to make sure you don't have the meat stuck together. So we're going to pour that all out. We'll get a new bag. And we make sure.
I almost made a comment that it reminded me of my birth again, but I'm not going to. That would be inappropriate. He's kind of got a full contact thing, and I like the way he shifts gears. He made a mistake by putting it in a baggie, shifts gears right to another thing. An improvement. I like to learn as you go.
That we separate all this meat. See, this right here, that would not have got marinated. So we're going to separate all of our meat slices. All right, now we got everything marinated. I am looking at it, and I think we can put another root beer in there. We want that root beer flavor. Like I said, I could really taste it, but now we're going to get more of it in there. It's not going to be too runny because it's already super thick. All right, now that, my friends, that is perfect. Now let's get it into our bag. This is either going to be awesome or a giant catastrophe. Check it out. Oh no. Go, 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 go.
Success. There's a boldness in his cooking. It's either going to be a giant success or a catastrophe. I live my life every day when I get involved in things. It's right on the edge. The random edge.
I did it. I did it. All right. It's a little messy. That's all right. We're going to squeeze the air out. Make sure it's all coated in the marinade. We'll just put this in another plastic bag. There we go. Just throw it in a trash bag. Throw it in our fridge overnight. We'll see you in about 24 hours. Okay. All right. It's the next day. It's time to dehydrate. Whoa, it smells good. Let's get a look. Look at that. It's perfect. That's exactly what you want it looking like. You got that marinade just sticking to it. I'm gonna lay these out. We'll see you in a little bit. All right, so we got our jerky laid out. We got 6 trays, and I still got a bunch left. We're gonna throw that on the smoker. Let's start dehydrating. Now we're gonna put the rest of our jerky.
I didn't know that you. Okay, this just shows my ignorance towards this kind of thing, but I didn't know that you could just use a dryer. I thought you had to smoke jerky. I thought that's what it was. It's smoked and then it dries. But I guess you have 2 options, and he's going to do a taste comparison, it looks like.
On our smoker. All right, so we're loaded up on the Grilla. We're going to set this to 190. Let that smoke.
190.
We still got some left over. Time to get a look. As you can see, that jerky looks done to me. Look at that. Look at that underneath. Isn't that wild? I guess it was kind of like dripping off. Look at that. Yeah. Let's go give it a try.
Now his mama probably told him, stop playing with your food. Well, he made a career out of playing with food. There, Mama, what do you think of that? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be harsh with Mama. Really.
All right, let's get a look at our dehydrator jerky. Look at that. Now it's time to do the taste test. We got our dehydrated versus the smoked. So let's give them a try. I'm gonna go with the dehydrated first. Still warm. That is super spicy. That's like really hot. I really can't even say that I can taste or even smell the root beer anymore. But that's really spicy. Now let's try the smoked.
Okay.
Perfectly cooked. It looks hot. And it is hot. I'm going with the smoked. It's not super smoky flavor, but it's got the right amount. But that heat is really coming out in the smoke one. This seems almost twice as hot as the dehydrated.
Twice as hot. So if you want it a little mellower, you dry it. If you want to put the smoke and the heat, or get the heat from the smoke, or make the barbecue. That's what he's doing.
Hydrated. And they're both super hot. Hotter than I really want it. But I know the people that I made this for, when I take it to the office, they're going to really enjoy it. But that's how we did it. I would 100% say this is a 10 out of 10 jerky recipe. I mean, it's sweet, and it's super spicy, and it's yum yum get you some. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a comment. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
He's doing it again. Oh, yeah. Yum yum get you some. There you go. That's Dano's, the spice guy. Spice. It'd have to be Spice Guy. It's not the Spice Girls. That's a whole different band. But you don't know until you Dano. So there you go. Thank you for that suggestion to do a video on this. I think I might follow this guy. I like how he thinks. My brother especially, who's really into barbecuing. And when you say brisket, his ears go up. I mean, he's not like a dog or anything, but it's amazing. You should see him. His ears go whoop. It looks kind of strange. Anyway, with that said, it's time to... Okay, I heard the bell. You heard it too. Subscribe if you like it and want to see some more of these videos. And you can get the notification bell too, and that lets you know when I'm got one fresh out of the oven. You see how I tied those together? I used a cooking analogy. Anyway, when you eat a lot, you know what happens. Like a big Thanksgiving meal. You get a little tired. So, it's time for a nap.